Although I will say I'm still a little throaty since the party.
Throaty?
Yeah, I feel like, I don't know.
Going to do some Mongolian throat singing for us?
Probably not.
All right. Well, here we go.
Here we go. Strange and scary, but do it.
Happy New Year. This is the Long in the Boot podcast, the podcast coming to you from the heel of the boot of Southwest Louisiana. I am your host, G Long. Sitting across the way, as always, is Deb.
Hello, all.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing.
All right.
As usual.
Yep. New Year and all that stuff.
It is.
Hey, but you know what doesn't change? Our email.
Our email?
That's right.
And you remember it?
longintheboot@gmail.com. The phone number to reach Long in the Boot is 337-901-5. Oh, I think I screwed it up. Dang it.
Well, I feel better now that you're not perfect.
337-5019. God, man. That was a good party.
He's not even gotten it right yet. Get your mind right, G-Long. Get your mind right.
Wait, 50190.
I'll go to the website. Do you want me to go to the website?
Yeah, do that.
Okay, I'll do that for you.
I think it's 50.
Well, I don't want you guessing. Filler. Just filler while I go to the website.
Oh, okay. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Long in the Boot podcast today. Oh, it's going to be great. We're going to have the year in review. That's right. 2022. All the crazy things that happen with all you crazy kids out there.
All right, here we go. If you want to get
first, the weather.
If you want to get in contact with longintheboot@gmail.com, you can do that. If you feel like you want to express yourself in verbal terms, you can go to 337-502-9011.
Wow, I was way off.
Yeah, I don't even know what the hell you were saying.
502-9011.
502-9011.
I don't know how. Okay.
It's like 911, but you got a zero in there.
Again, it was a heck of a party.
I know. If we're both still recovering, I guess that's true. We just aren't much partiers anymore.
We stayed up past midnight.
We stayed up till almost 2 a.m.
That was crazy.
Yeah. And the night before we were up till midnight.
Yeah.
No, actually it was 12:30 and you were still arguing and I was
not arguing.
Please just come to bed.
I was not arguing.
Well, at least you didn't get into a fight.
I was simply making a point. Why would I get in a fight? These are my friends.
Well, you're the person that goes to, Avett Brother concerts and gets into fights.
If you would have sat down, I wouldn't have had a threat to allegedly threaten that man.
You escalated the situation.
I didn't. His
Twice.
That guy's wife did.
Really calm concerts. It's just calm music, and you want to go and throw down.
Yeah, but a guy's dumbass wife shouldn't be standing up going, wee, with one finger in the air, waving it back and forth during a slow song.
I know, it was a little bizarre.
I paid to see the band, not your dumbass.
Yeah.
Sit down.
Yeah. All right. Well, there were no fights, and everything worked out well. And
I had all the people behind me as a team.
Yeah, that's true. They did.
They all gave me their support.
Yeah. It was a little odd, though. The first time it happened, it was like, wow, that was unusual. But then we go to another concert, and
it was the exact same thing.
And it was the same scenario. It's like, it must be you, not them.
No, I think it's their dumbass wives or girlfriends.
Oh, okay.
It's those women. Everyone who's ever been to a concert, not a bar concert, but a concert has seen these women. They stand up and they wave one hand in the air and they got their hand open like they're at church, or they got one finger up and they're going, woo! And they're
yes.
Oh my Lord.
Scarlett calls them woo girls.
What I would like to say to the men who let their wives do that at concerts is, slap that bitch down.
Well, it's 2023, G-Long, and women are in charge of themselves. So she was going to have to take it herself. If you're going to do that, I don't expect my man to fight for me.
And while we're on that subject, the woman out there that made love to the banister at that one concert.
Oh, well, there was no fight there. That was just pure entertainment.
She was entertaining as could be. But she had the decency to go and stand in the aisle
in the back
while she made
towards
love
the
to
back,
the banister
yeah.
with her groinal area. And she was not in anybody's way. So you know what? No problem.
that was just pure fun.
So there you go.
Pure fun. Her
and that wasn't
her and her man in her boat. No,
but,
oh no, God, no, that was like 2017.
Yeah, but here it is. It's 2023, kids. Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Oh man,
another one. It's really not all that. It's just time has passed. We've measured it as our human selves measure it, and we are now into the next one.
We've circled the sun, and we're back at the point we were a year ago. So, okay, here we go. That kind of thing.
Yes, technically. Hopefully, you've moved past the point you were at a year ago.
I got older.
Symbolically, yes, we got older.
I got older, man.
Unfiltered. Okay, so
all right.
Do we really have anything, or are we just here to?
I'm here to stay on schedule and work. Because these people
expect it. They need
their podcast hosts to be at work.
Yes.
And currently all the podcast hosts
are taking a break,
and they're playing repeats or they're bringing in scrubs to do their show.
Well,
and you know what? Not us.
Hey,
we are here for
I'm not a scrub because scrubs can't get no love.
That's right.
So
and so anyway, but we did go to a party. The Longs actually went to a party, which is rare.
Yes.
And went and saw some good friends, went and saw my high school buddy and his family. And
in fact, we were on the road for most of the holidays, or a portion of the holidays. Let me say that. The weather stopped.
The great freeze of 2022
stopped us from spending more time with our son and his family, which was very sad.
But we couldn't.
That was wonderful, though.
We couldn't leave for fear of bursting pipes.
Yes, I was a little concerned about that. I'm sure you all were, if you're in the heel of the boot or any of the areas where that was happening.
Hopefully you had no major damage.
Yeah. Or if you had some damage, you took care of it.
But we got to see our family, got to see our friends, got to watch white people dance, which is always entertaining.
I know.
And
hey, I enjoyed my dancing too. White as I am, it was okay.
Oh, and I also got to hear for the first time ever, and I'm only going to do this once because it was so weird, but apparently there is a lady that's got a podcast, and she really, really, really doesn't like white people. So she makes a spitting sound when she says white people. Oh. She goes, white people.
Oh, like she's got phlegm in her
that's
throat?
How she says it. White people.
Huh. Okay.
Never will I ever hear it again. But I just thought that was odd.
That is
and
a little
rather
odd.
Amusing.
Well, here we are spreading that, so now it'll be a joke for us. Like cool whip.
I prefer that.
Cool whip.
White people. There. See, that not nearly as bad.
I don't know why any of that is a thing, but yeah, all right. I guess we need labels.
Well, she was explaining how.
Well, I'm sure it's a negative on her. She's attacking in some way.
The Asian lady was explaining exactly what was wrong with relations between whites and blacks.
Why was that?
Yeah.
Okay. You know what? Just stop it there. We're not going. I'm not going into hate. I'm just not.
No,
going
this wasn't hate. This was amusing.
Well,
on her
to
part,
you, she was perpetuating some bullshit that we don't need to put. No, I don't care.
Because I don't care.
No, we were just amused by her speech
care.
Patterns, which we're interested in the language.
Well, I'm amused by the fact that she thinks that was genius. So brilliant to make that hack sound.
If we're not playing a repeat because we're better than that, G-Long.
That's right. But we won't be here long.
We won't?
We won't keep y'all too long.
Oh.
Okay. So normally, of course, there's also the cliche year in review.
Okay.
Because
yeah.
And so I kind of thought we'd go
do
with
a
that.
couple of I looked at a couple, but the typical movie and song or singer, I wasn't really interested in all that.
Yeah, the year in review, and we all know the big news stories, the big news stories.
We do.
Ukraine
I was a little excited while we were on the road. I didn't get to do a lot of internet stuff and do my usual reading on the internet, but I did see the Ohio killing. They picked up somebody.
No, Idaho.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry. Idaho.
Yeah.
No, not Ohio.
I don't know what happened in Ohio. Something happened, though.
I'm sure. Something always happens in Ohio. Anyhow, so they did pick up somebody.
You know what's round on the ends and high in the middle?
Ohio?
Ooh.
Oh, okay. See, maybe the party wasn't that good. I'm recovering. Okay.
Yeah.
My top was top 10 slang words.
Hey.
Right.
For 2022?
For 2022. No, we're ending we know what's happened. We don't know where we're going in 2023.
Oh, absolutely not.
Well, we have some predictors, but overall.
We got a few things.
We're going to continue to behave as bad as we've continued to behave in the past,
Human
right?
nature's not going to radically change.
First one in the top 10, and I don't know if we're going up or down. Like, is this the top word or the 10th word? I don't really know. They didn't give me numbers, so I'm starting.
All right.
Bougie.
Bougie. Oh, yeah, that's become real popular.
Yes. Apparently somebody read some history and saw bourgeoisie,
Well, first they looked at the word and they went, how do you say that?
How do you say that, right? I'm not French. I don't know what that means. Okay, so, special or fancy, you're bougie. I know some bougie people.
But here's what's funny. The people who call people bougie are also bougie.
Well,
have you noticed?
Yes.
Because if you're hanging out with people at your level, whatever it is,
then you're all bougie.
The only people that should be using the words bougie are people who are like making less than $20,000 a year. Then they can look
but then they're insulting.
Yes,
it's an insult.
The bourgeoisie were the bad guys.
Drip.
Drip in what form?
Like Eli's shoes and belt are dripping today. So stylish. They're sophisticated. So I guess that's another form of bougie in a way.
Oh,
like extra. Extra is another word on the list. See, to me, these are older words.
I think
wasn't
so
the top 2022.
No. I've heard them though a lot.
Oh, rent free.
Living in somebody's head rent free.
Mm-hmm. To become an obsession, you dominate somebody's thoughts. He's in there rent free. Get that scrub out of there. You can't live in there rent free, baby.
That's right. Hey, Democrats, Donald Trump, get him out your head. Get him out your head, please. You're letting him live there rent free.
He's rent free, and he can pay the bills.
That's right.
He can pay for it.
Well, sure.
Salty. I use that often.
Salty language. Salty this. Salty that.
I was a little salty on Saturday night. Was I?
Salty? I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. I thought
you were quite pleasant. I wasn't asked to come get you.
No, that has happened, but
yeah,
it's been a while.
That's different.
You haven't had to come retrieve me from any
I
kind
did think
of situation.
You fell in the lake for a short time because you were gone.
No, I had control of myself.
You just went for a stroll.
I went down there when I realized that they had taken half the dock away and I wasn't going to be able to make it. I made a judgment call and said, I've had a few margaritas. I think I'm not going to go that way.
Well, I thought it was funny because there was an older gentleman there earlier and he was looking for his wife everywhere and he couldn't find her. And then it happened to me and I'm like, oh, wow.
I've become that older gentleman. You know what? You can have faith that I'm handling my business.
Well, okay. Well, you know.
I'm pretty okay.
There were drinks involved.
There were, but like I said, I made that judgment call. I have had a few, not too many.
Refreshments were served.
If I had maybe a few more, maybe I would have been bold and salty and thought I could go on and do that. But
make that leap.
Another adjective in the world of language slang, shook.
Shook.
Yeah. Like you just been shook. You've been stunned. That shook me.
Shook up.
Yeah. See, it's not real. I know. It's kind of lame. I feel like the list is lame. A vibe check. And that's a verb. So it's an action to make sure someone is having a good time. Did you come and do a vibe check on me? You didn't need to. I was dancing. You knew if I was dancing, my vibe was good.
Yeah. You were good.
Yeah. And well, you weren't, but you were,
I was moving a little. I wasn't dancing per se.
Yeah. Okay. Woke, of course.
You God.
Yeah, woke has.
That's not slang.
You know
anymore.
what? Now that I see this, and that's the
I am
word.
officially removing the word woke from slang because I hear it enough to where it's just language.
Socially conscious, culturally aware. So they leave it to you as an adjective, and you determine the connotation it has, positive or negative. But
socially conscious. See, that implies that to be socially conscious is to basically be of the leftist side
but that's my point. When they put the word on the list, it's not indicative of a negative or a positive. It's the perspective you take on it. And if you use the term, it doesn't have to be a negative thing.
Well, that's always true. But
because
you're not ever going to hear a Democrat describe a Republican as woke. Never happened.
You know what? Screw all of those labels.
I agree, but I'm trying to make a point that what they're doing with that list is they're trying to make woke a neutral word when in fact it isn't. It is not what it is.
All right. Well, if I'm going to say I'm trying to be
use.
culturally aware, then I'm indicating that I'm just trying to be a little sensitive to where we're going in the future.
I don't think culturally aware and woke are the same thing.
Okay. Well, that's how. Here, I'll give you the sentence.
I think woke is a political word.
Let me give you the sentence they gave. Okay. Because they used every word in a sentence. This is after his modern perspectives in poetry course. So college, right? He became woke to different points of view. It took that to make you woke. It took that to make you
and again,
aware of cultural points of view. Exactly.
Did you join the Republican Party? Well, obviously not. You're woke.
I don't know.
See what I mean?
Yeah, I know. That
is a political word that they are injecting into our language and trying to make it neutral. Instead of shifting the person, shift the society.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's how language works.
Well, that's what they're doing.
Our cultural norms, our social norms.
That's the media leftifying the language.
So, we use phrases and words in different ways now. So all the feels, you gave me all the feels. I'm amped.
We've heard that.
Basic, blow off steam. Yeah, see, all of these phrases are not new. Bro, chill out. I don't know. Okay, well, this is lame. I'm leaving this. All right. That was my terms, lame as they were. So maybe we're lame. Maybe it was just a lame year for language.
Maybe so. It was not a lame year for science.
No, a lot of scientific discoveries.
James Webb, man. James Webb went up, January of last year. The James Webb Telescope.
Oh, yeah.
The one they wanted to change the name of because of some weird, stupid reason. And it's performing.
A woke reason.
Yeah, it was, actually.
Yeah, of course. That's why we're about to change all these names of bases because everybody's woke now.
Well, but see, there you go. Woke now. Since people are woke, we have to respect the feelings of people who get their feelings hurt because these bases are named after
because Fort Polk's up there causing some emotional trauma.
But I don't believe that people actually really thought about it.
I don't either.
Until this wokeness became a political thing.
I say follow the money trail. Who's going to benefit by changing all the money or changing all the names of these places?
Stories.
Colleges, teams, military bases, and institutions. Exactly. Who's making the money off of this? People who have to print.
I would imagine it generates money for sure.
Well, of course it does. It costs thousands of dollars to change the name of a base. There's a lot that goes into that.
But anyway, the telescope for 2022, James Webb Telescope, it actually, they've now apparently have confirmed there were something like 600 and some theories about how stars were formed, where they were, how many there were, the heat of the universe also. Anyway, this telescope has already proven bunches of theories. They're no longer listed as theories. They are now fact.
They're factual.
And it found the rings around Neptune. We knew there were rings, but it was hard to see.
So it's confirming a whole lot of things that were believed.
And it keeps finding galaxies further and further away, which means that the universe may, in fact, be even bigger than we thought it was. I think that's pretty cool.
I think that's pretty cool too. And
they're pointing it towards where they believe the Big Bang happened.
Oh,
and their goal is to look backwards towards the very beginning of time itself. I don't, how they
determine that. Those are people far smarter than me, and I'm not sure I can. Follow that line of thinking.
So that we had that in January, and then to continue all of the good things that were happening, Russia invaded Ukraine in February.
In February of last year, and there are a lot of predictions that were made at that time, and
I thought thought it was done in a week.
Yep, I thought so too. And then there was at that time somebody, and I couldn't tell you who it was, some expert at the time said this war is going to go on for years.
Yeah.
And I said, that's not happening.
No, it can't happen. The weird thing now is, so you look at the war, it's now almost a year, and it's a stalemate on the ground for the most part.
Yes.
There's nobody taking great swaths of territory.
No, and the Ukraine is finally starting to fire back.
Russia, for the last, 6 months, has just been randomly flinging missiles into Ukraine.
Yes.
And Ukraine can't just sit there and take it forever. And the world
so they're responding.
And so now But once Ukraine responded with a couple missiles,
then Russia was upset.
Was like, hey,
you're attacking us. You can't do that.
But more than that, how does this end? Putin is now a war criminal. They want to try him for war crimes.
Yeah.
So he can't give up.
Well, his people keep dying. His close associates.
I guess eventually he could just run out of people to kill. Maybe.
Yeah, could be.
I honestly,
very well could be.
I don't know, but Putin has reframed the war again. Remember, originally it wasn't
a war. Well, originally
first it wasn't a war.
Yes, it was.
It was to go round up Nazis. We're going to get those darn Nazis.
I hadn't heard that phrase in several months.
Well, that's because he let that go. Now, what he's fighting now is NATO, and he said flat out, "We're at war with the West." That's how he put it. The West.
The West. Us. that's us.
Well, NATO is who he's talking about, but he's also talking about. He says now that the Nazis in the Ukraine were supported by NATO and the West. And what it is they want to bring their homosexual, gay, anti-religious agenda to Russia.
Well, he sees our news. We're over here battling the agendas as well.
Yeah, but he's accusing the government of wanting to, export all this to Russia, which is a joke.
Democracy and capitalism. Yes, baby.
Yeah, because Russia was the pinnacle of treating their gays and accepting religion.
Wait, no. There are no gays in Russia.
See?
I've not heard of any gays in Russia.
It wasn't until Putin came to power that Russia even had a church happening. The Communist Party frowned upon such things. So don't try to tell me how religious you are now, liar. Mm-hmm. And there's currently a schism in the Russian Orthodox Church as well. So where's this going to go? I have no idea.
I can't predict. I'm not here to predict 2023.
I hope it doesn't end with nuclear war.
No. But they're running AI. They're running AI scenarios for that.
I have a prediction.
You're doing it? I just said we're not predicting 2023.
I have a prediction.
Don't make me a liar.
Oh, no. I predict that if a nuclear weapon is used, that will be one of the top 10 stories of 2023.
Wow. Yeah, you know what?
When I went
put it in the book. When I went back and looked at the predictions of 2022, some of the people who do these predictions, and I need to say the First Lady because it's so flippin' bizarre. She is called in 2022. Oh gosh, darn it! Her name is the Veg Lady.
The Veg Lady.
Hang on.
Wow.
Let me Mystic Veg. That's it.
Mystic Veg.
The Mystic Veg. And so she is a fortune teller, right? And her prediction that has come to pass, the British monarchy will struggle in 2022. There will be some,
don't they always?
Drama. Mm-hmm. She predicted that it'll bring more scandal and misery to the royal family.
Oh, no.
And she predicted this after. This is how she does her predictions. Some people do tea leaves. The Mystic Veg tosses up a hand.
With an E, right?
Veg, like vegetable, not vag.
Okay.
She could be the Mystic Vag. I don't know.
Okay. Just checking.
Is the G-spot real? We don't know.
Hey.
After tossing up a handful of asparagus in the air, she interprets how they have landed, and previously predicted that Harry and Meghan's drama. She predicted Boris Johnson becoming prime minister.
She predicted him by name?
Yeah. Back in 2022, at the start of 2022. Here,
he was already prime minister.
Yeah, maybe she meant the second time around. Look, I didn't dig into this research. So she also tosses her asparagus for sports-related predictions, and she had predicted that Croatia will win the World Cup this year. I don't know if that happened. I'm not a soccer fan, so if y'all want to know, y'all go look that up. I don't think that she was right. I thought somebody else won, but
I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm a bad host because I didn't go look for all that.
Yeah, who cares? It's soccer.
Nostradamus, some of his predictions came true. What was going to happen in 2022?
Bullshit.
Yeah. Well, there's lots of time devoted to making sure that all that occurred. Yeah.
Nostradamus didn't predict the future.
Well, no, we're reading a lot into all of that to make it. They're crafting it to fit what they want it to fit. Like
here's the thing, and this is always the thing. if you're predicting the future, then that means all of the events of the future are already written.
Well, no, I think they're using the past to predict where we're
I'm
going.
just saying,
Human nature.
If we accept that people can predict the future, if we accept that, then we also have to accept that everything is preordained, that there is no freedom of choice, and that's why no one predicted the future. Unless if they were a time traveler and could go forward, get all the information, then come back, maybe. But
you're making my head hurt. Stop.
I'm just saying this idea that people can predict the future.
We forecast the weather.
That's an educated guess, though.
Well,
it's not
I think
forecasting.
I'm going to say I forecast some future events based on what's happening now and what people have been like in the past. That's why we learn history.
But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about people who.
Okay, well, I've changed the topic then. There.
Because throwing vegetables around, number one, is not going to give you any kind of real definite thing.
And why asparagus?
Yeah.
Was it white? White asparagus is better than green asparagus.
Sure is.
That is my opinion.
And they keep it in Germany, and they won't let us have any.
No. I'll bet they do it up north.
Sparkle.
It's cold. It's a cold weather climate, or a cold climate.
Cold weather asparagus.
Yes.
No, I just don't believe in forecasting the future. I don't believe in magic.
Well, I don't think that's magic. Again, I just think
magic.
The whole point, we want to know why we need to know history. We need to know history so we can see the patterns. We can see human behavior. We can learn from those lessons of the past, what worked, what didn't work. And because we know human nature and we're not getting better, it's like I said earlier today when we were having a conversation, we're not going to all just wake up one day and be Star Trek The Next Generation and get along and be adaptable to all. No, it's a pipe dream.
For the future, Star Trek, for a future where supposedly everybody gets along, did you ever notice there was conflict in every episode?
There has to be, because we've got to have a nemesis.
All right. So,
the dogs are like, no.
We've set them off.
No.
They don't believe
Otto's still mad for the travel.
They don't believe in predicting the future.
The wiener dog hates to ride in a car.
He's a crybaby bitch.
He whines and whines back
the entire
whole time. If you have an idea of how I can make, short of sedating him, because I don't really want to do that, but he whines a lot. Bella is excited as hell to go anywhere. Yeah, she's yappy, but she's excited. So,
all right. What else happened in 2022? How about our first black female Supreme Court justice?
Yeah, that was
April of 22.
Oh, you're just moving through the year.
Yeah,
okay. All right. That's a good pattern.
I'm trying to leave out the really, really depressing stuff like Uvalde and things like that. We had, of course, in June, the big one.
What happened in June?
Roe v. Wade was effectively over.
Well, it was pushed to the states.
But actually, the way you really say that, because of how all the laws were written across the country, the Supreme Court overturning Roe v. Wade basically criminalized abortion in many states.
Yes.
And that's really what you want to say.
But the federal government just gave it over to the states.
Correct.
Said, here, you decide.
And so, of course, we have to ask the question, what is the line for states writing laws versus federal
Well, obviously,
law?
the federal government has given the states more power.
In this case.
Which is not usually the
But
trend.
Abortion. So we're talking about the, depending on your side.
We're talking about a medical procedure
We're talking
that
about
should
a medical
be private
procedure
between
that
you
also,
and your doctor.
Correct. That also ends the life of a possible human being. So pretty serious thing.
Yes.
So if a state makes a law, let's say, for shits and giggles, makes a law that interracial marriage was illegal.
We already lived through that.
I know. It's hypothetical. Which one is more serious? Which one carries more weight? Which thing?
Oh, well, that's just a lame. No, come on, I can't.
Is it marriage, racial marriage, or is it abortion?
Why do you have to pick one?
What I'm trying to get at is the Supreme Court now has given what I think is a pretty big thing.
Yes,
back to the
states and say you decide the morality.
So
of
everything that has less weight than that states should be able to make laws how they feel, how they.
Well, but see, then that's a very subjective. You're saying the measure, it's a subjective thing. Like,
no, what I'm
abortion
saying
is huge.
How far are states allowed to create laws that conflict with the federal government?
Oh, like marijuana.
Sure. Or in this case, abortion. Mm-hmm. Okay. Abortion law will now be the dictate of the state. Well, what about marriage law? Technically, it already is.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
States could make laws banning gay marriage
until the state does something the government doesn't like.
Congress just passed the Defense of Marriage Act, so now
yes, because they were terrified.
All states now have to respect gay marriage.
Yes, because they were afraid that the states would individually go back on that. But my point is,
so the government, the Congress, passed a law that made sure that gay people could stay married no matter where they were. And it requires states to give them equal access and equal rights for that.
That's a shame. That we've come to that. That we've had to come to that. Not that they can get married. I don't. Yes, get married. I'm not into your morals.
I'm kind of getting on the thing about the level of
you want to measure. Yeah, you want to measure and say. But again, that's
we can't
subjective.
Just allow states to make any law they want. And abortion law is a pretty big deal.
That is a pretty big deal.
And it's also a huge crack in your privacy with your doctor that now states can
that's my issue is the fact that it is not a private procedure or a private care between you and your doctor.
How much information should the state have over your medical care?
Well, apparently, if you're trying to get an abortion, everybody should know.
If the state
that hoe down the street's trying to get rid of her baby.
Know if you're getting rid of a baby, then the state, I would think, would be free to ask anything. So let's say you're applying for a state job, and has anyone in your family suffered from Alzheimer's? If the answer is yes, please leave.
We don't want you because the potential is there.
That's what I'm saying.
It's a slippery slope. That's the issue. It's a slippery slope, and where is it going to go? I don't know. But it's probably not going to be.
About half the country banned or restricted abortions.
Yes, it's probably not going to be good.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 states, abortion rights still exist. Everywhere else, not so much.
Not so much. All right. Well, now that you're talking about
and that was
sex.
I wasn't talking about sex. I was just basically saying in June, middle of the year, we're to the middle.
Oh, you were at the middle. Okay. Well, I won't interrupt your trek to December. So keep going. June.
July. Former Prime Minister of Japan was assassinated. He was stabbed. Remember that?
Yes, I do. That was very exciting.
Shinzo Abe.
Yeah, it was shocking. You thought something major was going to happen, and then it just kind of shut up and died down because everybody said, "Ooh, if that can happen, we better be quiet."
I know, isn't that crazy?
Yeah, so I assumed that all the other Japanese people who were trying to stir the pot settled down.
In August, speaking of a guy who lives in a lot of liberals' heads,
rent-free.
In August,
he's in there rent-free.
I don't know why he's there. He's got a place in Florida. And speaking of that place in Florida, Mar-a-Lago, that August is when they found they did the search in August. I moved on to August.
Oh, I skipped July after the prime.
Luckily, we haven't heard anything else about that.
What, Mar-a-Lago? That's all we've heard.
Anyway, so that's when they went and got those files.
Yes, every night the nightly news spent at least 12 minutes.
It was so shocking that they found files in August.
Some of them had.
It killed Queen Elizabeth in September.
I don't think that's what killed her, but okay.
No, she died of 96.
Yeah, and Barbara Walters just passed before the end of the year as well, and
she
I
died
think
of embarrassment because her son Charles is an idiot.
No, Barbara Walters died of being 96 too. I think she was like 96, 98.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Betty White died of being 99. Yeah. That's pretty much it. But we'll get to the point where we won't have to age. We talked about that in the last episode, didn't we?
I like yeah.
If they can get rid of death because of aging, why can't they get rid of STDs?
Well, they can get rid of some of them.
I have a. That's my story. STDs 2022. Top 10 states for STD. 7 of them are
Southern
in the South. Number 1, Mississippi. Oh, look, there's our quieting rain.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah, that's rain. We don't even hear it anymore.
Did you know that educational attainment and STDs go hand in hand.
Correlate?
Yes.
All right. Mississippi, number 1 as the state with the highest rate of STD cases. Be careful, Mississippi. If you're going out and having fun, you better be aware. Guess what? Number 2? We always go hand in hand, don't we?
Louisiana.
Oh, of course. Vermont has the lowest STD rate. So if you're a little bit of an adventurous person and you want to go hoeing around, there you go. Go to Vermont. You're probably safer anyway.
Oh, that is a new license plate slogan for Vermont.
What?
Vermont, the raw dog state.
You're safer here.
Raw dogging in Vermont.
Okay, that's sad. State rankings by syphilis. Okay. Nevada, 24.9 cases per 100,000.
Well, they got hookers there.
Mississippi, number 2, ties with Nevada as far as, let's just say 25 people per 100,000 have syphilis.
That's not bad.
Alaska, 24. They're third for syphilis. Alaska.
They have a real problem with meth, too. Really bad.
Yeah, because I'd be depressed as hell if I lived.
I'd be smoking meth too if I got syphilis.
Well, in Alaska. Because your odds are 24 people.
Is that Tunda? Oh my goodness.
Ooh, rain is just rolling in. Okay. Number 4, Oklahoma, and number 5, New Mexico. Now, this isn't STDs. This is specifically syphilis. We're not throwing in gonorrhea or anything like that. Now, large states, of course, like California and Texas.
Gonorrhea sounds so much
California,
better than
Texas, and New York, large cities, large states. They're going to have. They got to have. Yeah, by total infection rates are going to be the top 3: California, Texas, New York. Florida is not such a huge state, but they rank out at number 4. Georgia, number 5.
Oh, you know why in Florida? It's all the old people at those communities that are all doing the big orgies
doing the nasty together because it doesn't matter anymore.
Keys in goldfish bowls.
Oh, that's so 70s. Fondue dips.
Well, that's them. That was their era.
Now they don't put.
They're probably listening to classic rock.
They don't put cheese in their fondue pots. They put massage oil.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. I always thought that would be anyway.
Welcome to the villages.
Shut up. Now you got family that's mad at you.
That's why
when we're talking about STD, we're putting in chlamydia, syphilis, gonorrhea, and HIV has been added to that, which is kind of interesting because HIV cases 9,700 in Georgia, in Louisiana 21,000, 9,700 in Mississippi, but 21,000 in Louisiana for HIV.
No way.
I thought that was strange. Georgia, 57,000 people in Georgia have HIV.
Wow.
Yeah. So again, New York, 125,000. Well, that tied into my other story. I didn't have a whole lot here because, it's New Year's new.
Yeah.
And I wasn't prepared really. But it's Louisiana and a new law for 2023. So I'm venturing a little into the.
And what's that new law?
The new law is if you are in Louisiana and you want to go to a porn site, you're going to need to use the Louisiana Wallet app, and you're going to need to give them basically your license, all of your information.
No, you're not.
Used to be you had to only say, "Yep, I'm 18."
VPN.
Well, you can do that, but if you're not aware of how to do that, they're going to ask you to share your data to access.
Actually, that happened
site.
in about I want to say it's like 8 or 9 states did that. They passed
not
a law
just
like
us,
that.
yeah.
And all the sites are creating their own system where they can confirm your age without you having to give.
Well, that's the point. This is your personal data that's been required to be given to your state and to the website.
Correct.
So now you're doing twofold, right? The state knows what you're looking at. The website now knows everything about you.
So the website's created systems to where you don't have to do that. And my thing is, if they really want to know if people are going to porn, they can just go and get the log records of the IPs. So if you want to bypass that, for all you porn lovers out there, if you want to bypass that, get a VPN, man. They're free. It's no big deal. Or here you go. Try using what's the name of the Brave browser? The Brave browser anonymizes you, so they won't even know where you are.
Because this is all in an effort to make sure that you're 18 when you're looking at that porn.
Yeah,
you can just get a magazine. We're more worried about
what's that?
You know what? I want to know
What's
if
a
you've got
magazine?
chlamydia and syphilis, and I'd rather know that. Give me an app that lets me check that.
How about
shit.
a registry of those dudes?
Yeah.
Doctors.
Are you a pedophile? I need to know.
That's a perfect
Okay,
example, though.
It is.
There you go.
Okay.
If you go to get an abortion,
Yes.
then the state needs to know who you are and all that stuff and prevent you from doing it. But if you go to the doctor to get treated for syphilis or worse,
Are you put in a because
I look that
that's
up?
pretty horrific. That's the public health. If I have to wear a mask just to go to the grocery store to protect all of
There
my
you
neighbors,
go.
then I want
See?
your dick to be.
That's my point. What's to prevent Louisiana from passing a law that says you have to be put on a database if you have a venereal
If you have
disease?
one of these 6 diseases
Yeah.
that could be easily transmittable
What's to prevent that?
to some poor unsuspecting
Because if
partner.
you get an abortion, you're going to be charged and you're going to become public record.
Now,
for sure.
I'm not really saying the partner's a victim because you go out there and you're risking that.
Oh,
then
yeah.
That's on you. You made that decision. We don't have to protect you. I don't really believe that.
No,
but if we're going to go on this slippery slide.
If you go out there and get yourself a venereal disease, well,
Then that's on you.
Let me be the first to say, dumbass. And-
that's the yeah. I mean, you didn't have enough control to. Okay. Well,
Yeah,
anyway,
I know.
I was 18 once, so I guess I don't know. I don't know. Some people make mistakes, I guess.
I suppose.
Yeah. All right.
But anyway, and so there you go. All right. Well, I want to kind of wrap it up. So I thought we.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
All right. You don't want to
But-
bother these people for too
No,
long. It's the new
it's
year.
the new year, and everybody's got a headache and they're recovering and stuff.
Maybe not. Not
Maybe
everybody
not.
drinks. Not everybody goes out and gets a syphilis.
All right. Well, for the boring people who didn't have fun, but I know I've got weird.
That's usually
I've got
us.
some weird news. For
All
the
right.
year.
Tell us the weird news.
The first one was the story about the polar bears. There's an island off by the coast of Russia,
Okay.
and they abandoned it years ago. It used to be it was used for mining, and it was just and so they ran out. Whatever was in the mine ran out.
Okay.
So all these buildings are there, right? Well, now if you go to this island, all the buildings are inhabited by polar bears. And they have great pictures of polar bears like looking out the window.
So they're just living it up like
They're living in a house. They've moved in. Yeah.
So we can house the polar bears, but they can't seem to house the unhoused.
Well, they've been actually, like, many of the buildings were locked when the people left originally.
Oh, bears can get in.
Bears have unlocked
Oh yeah,
the doors.
bears don't. No. I've read too many stories of those kinds of scenarios. Bears can get in.
I just thought that one was
that's
kind of cute.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Cambodia, another weird story, had to beg people to stop picking their famous penis plant.
Oh,
They have a plant called a penis plant that looks vaguely like a penis.
not as much as that little mushroom. I have a mushroom
Yeah,
that
I
grows
know,
out
I
here
know.
that looks a lot like
It's
a
actually
penis.
a pitcher plant is what it is. It's a pitcher plant. And it's known as the
Have
penis
you got
plant.
a picture of it right there?
I do.
Give me your screen. I want to see.
No, I'm working. I'm
Your
working
laptop.
here.
I want to slide it down so I can see it.
I'm working here.
Oh yeah, it's pink too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, now you messed me up.
Oh, I don't care.
Anyway, it's also known as the penis flytrap, by the way. But they are endangered, and they're having a problem because these things are very important for keeping down the fly population.
Oh.
And tourists love them so much, they just go and yank them off the vines.
Well, so is it easily propagated?
I don't know. It doesn't actually get into that.
Does it propagate as fast as chlamydia?
But it lives in low nutrient soil and relies heavily on the pitchers to take care of all this stuff. And these people are, even if they don't pull the plant, they'll dump the liquid out inside, which effectively kills that particular pitcher.
Okay, so they put up signs and stuff.
Yeah. So
in
anyway,
English and Cambodian.
they're having to do that,
Yeah.
and it's on Facebook now. And
To please just stop this. Now that they've made people aware, hopefully they won't be assholes.
correct.
Okay.
Another weird story, this one from India, and we covered it earlier in the year, and it made the top 10.
Oh.
And it's the wild elephant that trampled the Indian woman to death,
Yes.
then went to her funeral and trampled her again.
Yes, and stomped on her after her death.
Yes.
So that had a lot of questions attached to it.
It did.
Like,
Well,
what did
she was getting water. The elephant trampled her. Okay.
Yeah, but had she been getting water there before? Did
Yes,
they have an
it's a
altercation
place where you get
at
water
some
all the
point?
time. Who
See,
knows?
she had a smell he didn't like. Something.
Anyway, what I found out on this story is it wasn't just the elephant coming to her funeral and stomping it. He had other animals with him, other elephants.
Like a gang?
A gang.
And he was the leader.
And they rampaged into her funeral. They knocked her body off the funeral pyre.
Huh.
They all then took turns trampling it and then they tossed it off with their trunk. They picked it up and threw it, and all ran off into the woods.
Did the people of the village ever go after him and his gang?
It doesn't say.
That's interesting. Well, maybe that was just a warning to the village.
It says no one has yet been able to ascertain why this one elephant had it out for this woman so desperately.
I'll bet they have a lot of theories. I mean, I don't even know anything about the region that they were in, and I've got my own theories.
Her name was Maya Murmu. Like, was the elephant show up and go, Maya Murmu, you killed my father. Prepare to die.
Prepare to die. You trampled my spot.
Also from India, because why not? There's a billion people there. They got lots of weird stories. An Indian couple is suing their son and daughter-in-law for more than $500,000 because they won't have a child.
Oh. I know many families get disappointed when their children won't, procreate and they need grandkids. But
they're suing them on the grounds of mental harassment because they're not having a child.
They won't have a child.
They argue that they spent $257,000 to raise their son, pay for his pilot training in the U.S., to pay and arrange and finance his wedding in the hopes that they would have a child. They've been married for 6 years, and they are still not planning to have a baby. And
so the whole purpose of them having a child was
he and his wife hoped they would have a grandchild to play with during retirement, but it hasn't happened. The main issue is that at this age, we must have a grandchild. But these two people don't think about us.
They're selfish in their lives. Isn't that why you have kids, though, to let them live a life, whether they have kids or not? I mean, really. If they don't procreate, they don't procreate.
Now, in Indian culture, it is actually a fact that you are.
It's disrespectful.
Yeah, you're required to take care of your parents.
Okay, well, they can do that. They don't have to have kids, though.
True, I agree. I mean,
but I'm sure culturally it's disrespectful. It's a shame on the parents when their other friends of that age have grandkids and you don't.
They have a new study that says mushrooms talk to each other.
Well,
50-word vocabulary through their mycology, the little I forget what it's called, the cilia,
the little
whatever,
cilia that move
that go down in the ground.
Yeah,
and
but trees do it too. They've
spikes of electrical activity. They think that up to 50 words they have. I don't know how they determine words, but the electrical spikes in the ground certainly, they said, mimic human speech.
Interesting.
And they don't know. My thing is, again, words. What does that even mean? They don't.
Well, the end result, you get something out of. There's a sound, and from that sound, an action occurs, or another sound occurs, and it's the same each time. So you can trend a pattern. You can see, Yeah, that's how children learn, right?
That's true.
You say food, you want to eat, and then we sit down and eat.
How about my last little weird bit? This one is in good old Missouri, my home state.
All right, tell us what.
Springfield, Missouri. Do you know what they have under Springfield, Missouri?
Rock and dirt?
That too.
Okay.
1.4 billion pounds of cheese in a cave.
Like it was actually created? Somebody made it, not nature? Well, I guess nature makes it anyway.
Well, it's true. There is 1.4 billion pounds of cheese.
Is that government cheese from the 80s?
Have you heard of government cheese before? No, it isn't money, but actually cheese. 1.4 pounds of it.
Oh, okay.
It is the domestic cheese reserve. Cheddar, Swiss, American. Why do we have it? Because in the 70s, Jimmy Carter, the president at the time, President Jimmy Carter.
I remember.
And his promise of giving farmers a break, he wanted to raise the price of milk, right, artificially.
Yes.
But the government couldn't just do that and store it because milk goes bad. So they bought it and they started making cheese.
Large amounts of cheese.
Correct. But farmers were producing way too much cheese, leading to the ultimate question, what do you do with all the cheese?
Pizza.
Former President Ronald Reagan started the Food Assistance Program and slapped big chunks of cheese on it.
So that's what I was referring to.
Yeah, but that didn't cover it. So then they started making deals with fast food restaurants to help sell the surplus.
Okay, but it's still there?
It's still there. The National Dairy Promotion Board started publicly advertising to get people to drink milk so we could cut down on the amount of milk because they haven't changed the law that's creating all the surplus milk.
Oh.
And
because
so
that's how the government is. This is why we run into this kind of stuff.
That's why when you call for a pizza, do you want extra cheese on that? That's actually part of the deal.
To help get rid of some of the cheese. Well, that's what I was going to say.
Taco Bell creates things with cheese specifically to use cheese.
The government cheese.
1.4 billion pounds still exist in cold storage. It is no longer completely owned by the government. Private companies have come in and they basically privatized the
and they're using amounts of the cheese for their products.
Right.
Well, I suggest then a national 4th of July pizza party where across the country we have government pizzas, and that would just kind of help cut down on some of that.
The problem is that the cheese, the overproduced amount of cheese has stayed consistent since the 70s. They just keep producing cheese.
Why the hell can't they stop?
I don't know. The government offered to buy more cheese, $20 million worth in 2016, your tax dollars at work. The Department of Agriculture has not stopped buying cheese even still. In August of last year, the agency announced the cheese purchase program to buy mozzarella, processed and natural American cheddar cheese for the school lunch program and other federal food nutrition assistance programs.
Why wasn't that already being done?
Right.
It seems like a fairly simple problem to solve.
American farmers say they will continue to look for ways to offload their cheese supplies as the demand for it decreases with a rise in veganism and sustainable eating.
Yeah, mystic veggies.
So we're producing even more cheese because of all the people who are turning into wimpy vegetarians. Have some cheese, man.
Wow.
It's good stuff.
Okay. But see, that's the kind of government crap. You're still,
Right.
And that was the point,
I didn't even get into, I had a whole bunch of these weird government, the new budget.
Regulations
the things
and
in
new
the new
things
budget,
that are
like
there.
studying
Yes.
How salmon breed, another $1.5 billion or something like that.
Back when I went to work for American Airlines.
Oh, bees are fish now, by the way. Did you know that?
I hear Otto crying about it.
About the storm.
Oh, you think that's why he's crying?
Probably.
There's no lightning or thunder now.
There was thunder.
Okay. Well, never mind. Anyway, you stepped on that, so we'll stop that.
I'm sorry. Yeah. It's just like bees are now fish in California. I'll save that for later.
You're confusing me and the audience.
Do your thing.
No. We're gonna wrap it up. Yeah, we are gonna wrap it up.
Bees are fish. Bees are fish now.
Okay. I want to say now your confusion is portable and you can take that with you everywhere you go. We should spread joy. Don't spread chlamydia. Don't spread gonorrhea. HIV. Syphilis.
That's how. If you spread too much joy, that's how you
the result.
That's right.
Well, no, I think you could spread the joy without the resulting disease. Have fun. Just be safe.
Sure.
Wrap that rascal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Find your balance, people.
No doubt.
Don't go
find a good woman. Find a good woman.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, you're not saying me, but Otto's crying still.
Well, I implied it.
You implied it. I got to dig for that, though, you see.
And find a good woman who can co-host.
That's it.
Yeah. All
right, people. Have a happy...
Y'all have a good beginning to the new year.
Yes.
Thanks for listening. Again, longintheboot@gmail.com and a phone number 502-9011. Ooh, I did it.
Yeah.
And y'all just have a really good first week, and then hopefully the rest of the year will just roll right along.
Storms are coming.
Storms are coming, people. Look out. Bye-bye.